Yeah, welcome back to the WIFR Morning Blend. Dalen Davis from Visiting Angels joins us now. Good morning, Dalen.
Howdy. Good morning.
We're going to talk. We're going to talk. It might get a little. We're comparing and contrasting here today.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
Yeah. Visiting Angels, providing non-medical home care, correct?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
That's what you do. Now, we're going to talk about the differences between that and hospice and regular home health care, aren't we?
Yes, sir.
What if someone is on hospice? How would they also benefit from, like, Visiting Angels?
Well, I mean, that's honestly one of the biggest questions we get, right? And whenever people call us, they say, well, my loved one is already on hospice. Do I need you, or how do you come into play? And the best answer to that question is we fill in the gaps. Hospice typically is going to provide, end-of-life care. That's
Right.
in essence what it is. Someone who is deemed with a condition or state where about 6 months. So hospice does, emergencies, a couple baths a week, and then nursing oversight. But outside of that, there's really nothing there other than on-call emergency services, but they're not going to be coming out on a regular basis.
And
So-
dressing,
Yeah, dressing, daily cares,
making beds, whatever.
yeah, all the in-between, providing meals,
yeah.
med reminders, running errands, just general care, companionship, all that stuff that fills in the gaps, the day-to-day, if you will. Helping get in and out of the bathroom, making sure that you're safe, all those sort of things is where the non-medical home care comes into play.
And it's huge because that's a gap that a lot of people don't realize that it can be the toughest thing for families to do.
Right, it always is a big shock, right? Whenever someone comes home from a major event from the hospital, and then you realize that gap is where the trouble lies. That's where the burden lies. So that's where we come into play, where we fill that burden and help allow the loved one to stay family and not become the caregiver overnight.
Yeah, and that's, I mean, because then sometimes a loved one isn't in a position to be a full-time caregiver.
Yeah, very true.
And that's where Visiting Angels can come into play. We mentioned home medical care. That is not something Visiting Angels does, but
No.
So what are the differences between, like, hospice, home medical care, and Visiting Angels?
Right, yeah, and the difference is that we all do different pieces of the caring puzzle. One thing that I always love, I kind of adopted this from actually one of the home hospice agencies is, like they say, it takes a village, right? For kids, same thing with the aging population. Your loved one in the home, it still takes a village. We're part of a group collective of a caring agency, right? So basically, where home care does what we said, the non-medical stuff, the daily interactions, the daily feeding, bathing, dressing. Home health care is going to have a nursing component, therapy component, come in 2 or 3 days a week and do some sort of physical therapy, occupational therapy, something rehab directive or directly related to a condition. We're very general. And then hospice is obviously coming in as, emergency and kind of an oversight. So between the three, it is a very good group collective of care that the person would really benefit from.
Do you work well with these medical care, home health care providers as well as hospice? You guys are
I have good relationships with all of them. I love interacting with them. We have meetings in our office all the time with different agencies in town, hospice and transitions care, things like that. I love that connection. I think it's extremely important to have that in this community, in the Rockford community. So yes, we have a good connection with the home health care agencies and the hospice agencies in town.
Yeah. At the end of the day, it's everyone working together for the care of a patient. So it's great to see that everyone has the same mission.
And I firmly believe that the more that we can work together as a collective for the aging population in all of Winnebago and Boone County, I think the better the community is served.
Is a referral from the doctor needed for Visiting Angels or other home care services?
No,
I
not.
didn't think so,
Well, not for home care, non-medical home care. No.
Yeah, what you guys?
Yeah, because by definition, no. You can just call us and get started. There's basically there is some insurance coverages that covers us.
That's what I was going to follow up with. Insurance and Medicare. We just saw a story about Medicare.
Right. So Medicare doesn't directly cover our services per se. They're always looking to change that and kind of improve. But most of it is private pay, long-term care insurance, and actually a big thing that's near and dear to my heart is VA coverage. But your question, the home health care and the hospice does need a referral. So it would need to come from a primary physician. So that is something that is referral based.
Once again, Visiting Angels, not a healthcare provider per se, but more of a companion and errand running type.
Yeah, activities of daily living and companionship and all that stuff.
Are you, I mean, do you have Visiting Angels that just like go to a place just to play cards for an hour with? I mean, just because maybe the family members can't get there consistently enough.
Yeah, and the one thing, that I'm most proud of, that I love, is that, we take care of people in their home, but if and when they ever do go to the hospital, oftentimes the family asks us to have the caregiver go to the hospital as they're recovering in the hospital. So just like you said, like whereas we would normally, play cards and just be a good companion, when we're in the hospital, a lot of times the family is like, does that have to stop? Like, no.
Okay.
Yeah, our caregivers can come to the hospital and continue to give them a familiar face and someone to spend time with as they're recovering and trying to get back home. So we've done that, and I think that's a cool aspect of what we do.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
To learn more about Visiting Angels, they're on the Rockford Visiting Angels are on East State Street, and their website is visitingangels.com. But you can give Dalen and the Angels a call, 815-977-3452. Dalen's Angels? Ever think of renaming it that?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, why not? I'll take it. Yeah.
815-977-3452 or online at visitingangels.com. Thank you, Dalen.
Yes, sir.
We'll be right back.